Hi everyone, I'm back. So this will be the last in this series of videos for my Scrabble game, which is the gift for my very best friend. So once again, I'm using the pre-mixed part B here, and I've mixed in the kaleidoscope from Colour Passion, and I'm going to do another pour on these. I'd previously thought I was going to do them in the deluxe cream, but I decided it was too much of a colour clash with the board, and so I'm going to go with doing the galaxy look, the same as the board, and I'm going to sprinkle in the kaleidoscope powder into the mould, along with two of the colour shifting pigments from Let's Resin, and then spray them with a bit of alcohol, and then pour in the ebony luster mixed in with the resin, which is the Pugio, and mixed in with kaleidoscope as well. So that'll pour all nice and neatly into the mould, and we'll get that same galaxy look to make it all cohesive. That's the plan anyway. As you can see here, the mould is falling over. So I've just put together two pop sticks and taped them on the edges with my frog tape. And this is just going to give it a bit of support so that when I pour the resin in, it's not going to tip over easily. So there we go, and just push it down, make it steady. Just need to adjust it now, so we don't want it. We need these sticks to be at the base when it's turned over, so that it's on the bottom, and it will give it the maximum support. And that's what I'm just doing there. So it's pushed down, ready to go. There we go, steady as. So it's a very simple little thing to do, but it does make a difference. And I've decided not to glue this mould again with the pop sticks because they don't stay on the silicone, and I have to keep removing it, and then it's a waste of a pop stick every time I put a bit of glue on it. So there you go. We're just going to go with the flow, and we'll sand it to the best of the ability. It's a gift at the end of the day. It's not going to be perfect. It's something I'm making with love from my heart, and so perfection is not the key. It's in an ideal world, we'd like it perfect, but you know, when we're crafting, it's not always perfect. So we have to take that into consideration. And my friend won't mind in any way whatsoever, I'm sure. So I'm going to now do the mixing of the resin. And what I'm doing here is I've got the part B that's pre-mixed, as we know, and I'm going to put 10 mils now of part A into the cup, and then I'm going to pour 10 mils of the premix in as well, so even parts of A and B, and then mix it as if we were just mixing normal resin. So this way we ensure that we get the consistent colour for each one of these moulds, because we've pre-mixed the part B, and we spoke about that in previous videos. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this in now and then mix it all up, and I'm going to save you having to watch all of that again because you've seen me do this before. But we're going to mix for 3 minutes in total, and I'm going to ensure I've scraped down all the sides and the bases and make sure that we've got a really good combined mix, as if it's just normal clear resin. Just because we've added the colour pigment, it makes no difference to the mixing process. You still have to ensure that it's done correctly so that you have a really good cure of your resin in your mould. So, excuse me, my throat's still recovering from COVID. So here we go. I'm going to start the mixing, and then I think we'll jump to the next step. Alright, so I'm just gently pouring the resin into the mould. I have pre-sprayed it with the alcohol spray, again to dissolve that mica powder a little bit, so it's not just looking like flakes of powder. And then we will get a more galaxy effect result, all being well. And Yeah, I've actually used a bit of my 20 mils. I was doing a test with the counters. I shouldn't have done that test. It was a mistake and it made me a little bit short for the resin in this mould. So the 20 mils it does need for this mould. So don't take any out when you've measured it like I did and make a big boo-boo. But never mind. I can scrape it out and get as much as I can, and I can always top it up if I need to later when I make the next one. Alright, thought I'd do a quick voiceover because I didn't really speak much during this. You'll notice that the resin in this mould is still bendy. I do straighten it out and support it with more popsicle sticks. You'll see that shortly while it finishes curing. But because I'm doing multiple of these pours, I wanted to demold it and get the next one done. So that's why I'm demolding it now. It's touch dry. It's not leaving any marks, but it's still bendy and obviously I have to be careful. So just removing it now, and then we will see this galaxy effect that I did in this mould by sprinkling the chameleon powders inside and spraying with alcohol before I poured the resin in. And I think you'll agree that it's a really, really great effect when they come out. Wow, look. Look. Oh my goodness, come on. Let's see. Woo! You see how it matches the board? Not the board behind, obviously. Excuse me. So there's the cream little tokens letters I made. And then these were sample of the black that I didn't complete yet, but I think the black will be better than the cream colour. I think the cream's too different. So I'm going to scrap all the cream that I started to make, and I'm going to go with the Galaxy counters to match the board and the holders. The only problem in there is the resin has concaved as it's cured at the bottom. It's not flat, but we'll push it down, support it, and then I may or may not fill in those bases. It's not highly important. It's not being sold. It's actually a gift. So we shall see. So here I am going to go and try and work out how to support it now so that we can try and keep it as straight as possible while it's curing. So I'm going to get 2 new sticks because I'm going to go from top to bottom rather than side to side, and it's slightly higher, and just tape it on. So you'll see here how I do it, and that will then hopefully stop it from bending in the middle. Sorry about this, I'm still recovering from COVID. So yeah, it'll stop it from bending in the middle and try and keep it as straight as possible. Yeah, because that mould is not the best mould. But we can do what we can do, and we make as much as we can. Make it as good as possible. What do they say? Make lemonade from lemons? Anyway, let's get the tape and get this bit done. Just going to put a little bit of extra tape across the middle as well to hold that in, just to help prevent bowing. So it just gives it that little bit of extra touch of support while it's curing hard. And this is frog tape I'm using. It's a painter's tape. And I use it a lot on a lot of my projects because the resin doesn't seep underneath it as well. Some tapes, like even when you use them, they're not that tacky and the resin can seep in anywhere. It'll find a way through. So yeah, I like the frog tape for lots of reasons. So here I am, I'm going to put it back on now, and we will go ahead and make the next stand. To save time, you've seen me do this process already. I'm just going to cut the rest of this footage out and we'll jump to the next stage. Alright, I'm back. So on this stage, I've skipped slightly ahead because it was a long process. Look at each of the letters and you'll notice that each of the letters are gold. Now what I did was with a paintbrush and a deco art pen, a gold metallic pen. So I pressed the pen, released some of the ink, and then I used the paintbrush and very carefully painted the numbers and each of the letters in the gold. Now, it took a long time. It was very fiddly because you don't want to paint the square underneath the letter. You just want the letter highlighted. So I've gone ahead and done all of that, as you can see. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just mixing up that same black, and I've put the kaleidoscope in it. If you look carefully as well on the board, you may notice that some of the colour shifting powders from Let's Resin, I have sprinkled them in each of the squares. And so hopefully when I put the black on it, we'll get that same galaxy effect, just like I did with the molds for the stands, and just like I did for the background of the board itself for the game. So everything is cohesive, everything will match, and those gold letters should stand out nicely when we're doing the words on the Scrabble board. So fingers crossed this all works as I want it to. I did consider doing the deluxe cream for the letters, but I just thought there was too much of a clash when I put them on the stand. I did a couple of testers, and you'll see that in the later pictures. The two testers I still use in the pictures. I just thought there were too much of a clash against the board, and it didn't bring it all together cohesively. So I'm now spraying 99% alcohol over the squares, which will then start to, what's the term? It'll moisten the mica powders and start to dissolve them so that they're not looking so powdery. Hopefully we'll get that nice look of the galaxy being a gentle background colour, not too harsh. So, and this is going to take me a long time to do, so I'm going to show you a few of them, how I'm doing it with the pipette, and then I think I will jump ahead again to keep the video relatively short for everyone. What I did do is I filled up all these squares and with the resin, and then I went back over with if I had leftovers, because I wanted it to be all the same colour of the black in all of the squares. I didn't want to make a new mix. This mix of resin, I didn't do the part B mixed with the ebony and the kaleidoscope. This is just a straight mix, and then I've added the colour. So I had to make sure that everything was coated in this resin to make sure they were all the same. What I found out was I didn't quite make enough, and I had to make another batch just to try and fill in the back areas because it concaves as it's curing, so you don't get a flat back. So I did some doming once this layer had cured. I domed them to flatten them at the back. So I could have done without that happening, but anyway, resin does what resin does, doesn't it? We all find that out. So these turned out really amazing. I can't wait for you to see it actually. So as you can see, it's very repetitive. We're just pouring the resin into each cube, and So let's go ahead and stop here. You get the idea of what I'm doing, and we'll jump ahead to the next stage. See you in a minute. Alrighty. And here we are. Let's unmold all these beautiful counters, these letters. So I've sped it up a little bit because obviously it takes quite a while for me to do this, and I want to keep the video short, as I've said before. So look at this. Oh my goodness. Can you see? These are amazing. The colours are perfect. The effect with the Galaxy, with the mica powders that are the colour shift colours, are superb. And the kaleidoscope really sets again the depth with the tinier stars and the colours. It just pulls together just so great. I can't be happier with the overall effect of these letters. The gold is really standing out, and I can see the letters clearly. So when we're doing the words on the board, they are going to stand out alone. So I'm really, really happy with this. What do you think? Do you like them? Can you see? I know I've got the reflecting light on them a bit, but just look. They are so original. Nobody will have a Scrabble board like this, unless of course you go ahead and do the same and make one yourself. But I won't be making these for sale. These are just for my friend. Wow. Let's turn them all over and have a good look. Wow. Should I zoom in a little bit? Let's zoom in a little bit. Can you see what I mean? Look at the colours. We've got that champagne, which colour shifts to purpley colour. We've got the blue, and you can definitely see the kaleidoscope, all the little minute dots. That's the kaleidoscope in the ebony luster, in the black ebony luster. It is stunning. They really are beautiful. And that gold, can you see how those letters stand out and the numbers stand out? So they're going to look fabulous when we put them on the game. I can't wait to try this with my friend. I'm really excited. Wow. Have a look. Now you can see there at the bottom, that is the two cream pieces that I did, the test pieces. And they stand out. I'd hate to say it, but like dogs, you know what. So yeah, I'm glad I went with the Galaxy effect rather than the deluxe cream on this occasion. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. And hit the like if you do like them, please. It will really help. See? And there's the stand. I also think as well, I'm not sure what you think, but see, yeah, no, they're just not right. Don't like the cream on it. I think that with having the pieces the same as the stand also helps for when you don't want to show your letters to your opponents. They can't tell what you've got either. Like, you know, they're not see-through, they're not transparent, they blend with the stand. So it makes it harder for anyone to be cheating. I don't know about you and your friends, but we cheat. And I find it really funny. So here's the board, and it has cured. It is a solid board now. It doesn't bend. Yeah, so there they are. That's my name, obviously, on the board. You do have to look carefully. I guess the DL and the, you know, like the triple letter, the markings on the board, you will have to look at the pieces, I guess. But I like it. I do like it a lot. And people should be concentrating on the game. So anyway, you could do them slightly different shade, I guess, make them stand out a little bit more. But for me, I'm really happy. So now what I'm going to do is just go along each of the edges and give it a light sanding, just to ensure we've got no overflow and there's no sharp edges that we're going to cut your fingers on. And trust me, I did cut my fingers on one of the stands because they are super sharp on the edges on some pieces when it concaves in. So yeah, just go along and just be careful and do one at a time. Take your time. You want the pieces to be perfect, so don't rush this process. Anyway, on that note, let's go ahead and see the final product all together. Look at the colour shift pigments from Let's Resin. Phenomenal. So from the purple to the champagne, depending on the angle that you're looking at. And then it moves and it goes back.